Good afternoon, everyone, or as we say in the Pacific, kia ora. A very warm welcome to this session this afternoon on disruptive technologies. And I thought I would just remind us of some of the comments from this morning, because it is quite remarkable that we are here together as a scientific gathering really focused on our integration with government, industry, finance, and a wide range of other important agencies. We heard from Professor Kornberg this morning and the Minister of Cabinet Affairs that disruptive technologies are reshaping the world, but of course that's much bigger than science. And so I do want us to draw back a little bit as part of this forum. Science is both being reshaped by disruptive technologies and is also the inventor of some of those disruptive technologies. So an important forum this afternoon, and we're going to hear from 5 of our laureates, followed by a panel of 3 young scientists who will shed light on how our world is being reshaped at speed. A few comments by way of introduction from me. So disruptive technologies are the emblem of our 21st century world. And while many see geopolitics as being at the forefront of global instability, we've heard in some of the panels already this morning that the disruptive technologies that we're talking about also fuel that instability. We've heard reflections on the notion of truth, trust, and future prosperity. The Minister this morning spoke about a message of hope, what I might refer to as ambitious optimism, and we've just heard a comment about optimism. Reasons to be cheerful, you could say. And faith in humankind, which currently feels like it is somewhat fragmenting, and challenging us to come to understand better our experience as humans. Why are disruptive technologies so critical right now? Well, our communities are fearful. As a social scientist, I particularly bring that lens. People don't understand where this turbo state of technological change is leading and what it means for them and their lives. Furthermore, these disruptive technologies are often in the hands of people who many citizens believe are more powerful than their governments. This is the backdrop of this Disruptive Technologies Forum this afternoon. As I've said, we'll be joined by 5 laureates and we'll be joined later by 3 young researchers. I'm mindful of the steer that we've got this morning from Professor Kornberg, which was to focus on evidence into action and broad questions of social interests. So we'll discuss these in the context of technological discoveries. And a question to ask ourselves through this forum is there sufficient public trust in science and our systems to support the progress that we're seeing? With so much disruptive technology built on shared and mobile data sets, how do we reconcile concerns around data sovereignty that sit outside the scientific communities with our advancing of those particular disruptive technologies? Multiple commentators suggest we're in the midst of a global crisis, a series of interrelated crises, perhaps. And in science, basic science, while we can work to find those solutions to many of the crises, context matters, and it could be argued that science is in its own crisis. My concern and challenge is that technological solutions will not be the complete answer that our societies are seeking from us. They're partial solutions. Reshaping the world requires human relations, even if those relations are with and through technology. And those relations require trust. Stuart Haber this morning shared the notion of truth no longer being a given. And Omar just talked about sticking to the facts. All of this relies on trust. And so, colleagues, as we go into our panel and to hear our laureates, I suggest our scientific endeavours must be built on collaborations founded on trust. They must foster community trust and develop and implement mechanisms to recognise and respect and safeguard those communities. The demands on our scientists have never been greater. We hear it. Please do the basic science and make the discoveries, but hurry up and make it inexpensive. We want the solutions, but we also have quite severe demands on us. This is our context. Human progress can only be fully realised with citizen consent. This is our challenge, and now let's hear from our Nobel Prize winners on this challenge in the context of disruptive technologies. Our first speaker is Joachim Frank, the 2017 Nobel Prize for Chemistry, and his area of interest and expertise is around the imaging of biological reactions in real time by cryo-EM. I'm going to hand over to Joachim for his introductory comments, and of course we'll be moving through a series of speakers and going to our panel. Joachim.